Malaysia, di sini lahirnya sebuah cinta. Merdeka, merdeka, merdeka.
Tak berbelah bagi, cinta bergema. Sejarah kebangkitan, semangat bagai pahlawan. Alangkah bertuahnya kita, punya rasa yang dalam pada pertiwi ini. Kita terus berganding ke mercu. Di sini lahirnya.
Welcome to the show, Yang Berhormat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dominic. It is really a pleasure and honor to be here and being interviewed by Sabahkini.
Right. Thank you, Yang Berhormat. Now, let's get on to straight into the topic of Malaysia Day. Now, I've asked many people about who you are because I'm not very familiar with some of the ministers here, but I've asked, and a lot of them have this peribahasa specially dedicated to you, and that is ikut resmi padi. Lagi berisi, lagi tundo. Simply means the humbleness in you, how you developed that, and how was Malaysia Day to you in your early days in Tawau?
Well, I was actually raised in a family which practice the respect of the elders, you know. And if you look at my family, we are actually a family comprising of 11 sisters and only 4 brothers, yeah. And in our family, my late father is still disciplined, very, very good discipline in the family. And we are also being raised to respect each other, respect diversity. I mean, we are living in a kampong, Tawau, where you can find a lot of other peoples, other kampong people from various race, you know. So in a way, I live in a small Sabah, yeah, where you can find people of diverse background, diverse race, diverse religious belief and whatnot. So that kind of upbringing molds me into a person who always respect others, yeah, and always keeping a low profile, not to be too, what do you say,
To be arrogant.
Arrogant, that's right. Yes. So, I still remember when I was small, my father used to be a YB in the area, a Wakil Rakyat in the area. And I can still see in my mind, there are a lot of people every day when my father was at home. There will be a lot of people there seeking his assistance, seeking his attention. To assist them in whatever problems that they have. So my house, in fact, at that time, just used to be like a hospital, where all people with all kind of sickness came to visit my father, and my father, as much as he can, tried to assist each and everyone.
And Yang Berhormat, in your early days, when it comes to the topic of Merdeka and Malaysia Day, how exciting were the events and the series of programs that you had in Tawau?
Independence Day, Hari Merdeka is a day where not only other people, but even myself, really look forward to it. You know, when I was small, we look forward to it because we want to see the procession, the parade in the Padang. And I remember when I was small, we were given free cinema tickets.
Right.
You know? So that's why we really look forward to it. Yeah.
Right.
During those days, we don't really know what is Merdeka. We don't know. We cannot appreciate how important for a nation to be independent.
Right.
How important for a nation to be able to dictate the direction, the way how it progress, the way how it carry itself. You know. That was never in our mind at the time we were small. We just want to enjoy it together with other people, to see the army doing the procession, the parade, and just like I told you, there are going to be free drinks, bottles of lemonade will be given to us,
right.
And then there will be free ticket to the cinema, and those are the things that we really look forward to during the Independence Day ataupun Hari Merdeka, during our children's time those days. Yeah.
In fact, this year in 2000, to fast forward to 2014, and you are the chairperson for the Malaysia Day celebrations in Sabah. What are some of the series of events and programs that your ministry and your team has for the Rakyat here?
All right. The cabinet has made a decision in our meeting on the 27th of August, a few weeks ago. The decision was that we, as a state government, need to celebrate the 16th September as a very auspicious day. Not only is it's a public holiday for everybody, but it is a very, very important date that the younger generation should appreciate. That is the day Sabah used to be called North Borneo, together with Sarawak and the Federation of the Malay States, Malaya, and Singapore. We joined together and formed a nation called Malaysia.
Right.
So,
and in fact, just to sort of let you know, we just came from a school,
yeah,
and they had a celebration, the joint celebrations of Malaysia Day as well as Merdeka Day. And I haven't visited a school in such a occasion for maybe more than 3 decades.
Okay.
And I must tell you, there's good news. Lots of good news. In fact, all of us were so excited with the impromptu-ness of the students of that secondary school who were celebrating Merdeka Day as well as Malaysia Day. So I think, do you think this can be incorporated into this state-wide series of events, Datuk?
Yes. In fact, during our cabinet meeting, the most important thing is to make the younger generation, especially those at schools, colleges, universities, understand. Yeah, it is not that easy for our forefathers, our older generation, to make the decision to be the partners in forming Malaysia, because initially when this idea of forming Malaysia was mooted by Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra Al-Haj, the Prime Minister of the Federation of the Malay States in 1961, there were a lot of opposition, both here, North Borneo, Sabah was called North Borneo at that time, and also Sarawak, and also in Brunei. Initially, Brunei was also supposed to be included in the formation of this Malaysia. But there were a lot of resistance, basically because the people in Sabah and North Borneo at that time in Sarawak has a feeling that they do not want, after the end of colonization by British, they don't want another form of colonization by the Federation of Malay State, what we call it Malaya. So, in fact, there's going to be a lot of convincing done by a lot of leaders to make sure that the people of Sabah, North Borneo, understand by forming Malaysia, they are equal partners. They are not going to be colonized by anybody. So, to arrive at this decision takes quite some time. In fact, we were supposed to gain our Malaysia Day formation on the 31st of August 1963, but because of effort to make the people understand, and also at that time there are a lot of opposition coming from other nations as well, like the Philippines, who lay a claim to Sabah. Until today, half of Sabah is still being claimed by Philippines as part of their territory, being leased to North Borneo, to the colony, to the colonial government, and to Sabah now. And also there are also other parts of Asia, for example Indonesia, also eyeing for Sabah at that time. Jadi, can I speak in Malay also?
Yes, please.
Pada ketika Sabah hampir-hampir mendapat kemerdekaannya, kita mesti ingat ya, bukan semua yang berlaku itu dalam keadaan yang mudah ya, tetapi dia merupakan satu perkara yang sukar untuk dicapai. Tidak semudah yang seperti kita hari ini, kita bangun daripada tidur, kita lihat Sabah sudah merdeka, Sabah sudah berada dalam Malaysia, Sabah sudah membentuk Malaysia, kita dalam keadaan aman. Tapi pada ketika itu Sabah merupakan satu wilayah North Borneo, Borneo Utara yang diintai. We were being eyed by Philippines, we were being eyed by Indonesia, and their actual effort to bring Sabah, North Borneo at that time, to be part of their territory, either the Southern Philippines or to become part of Kalimantan, Indonesia. This is a reality, this is a fact. Sabah pada ketika itu, seperti yang saya sebut tadi, there are a lot of opposition within our own people in Sabah, because they have this fear. Mereka takut apabila Sabah ini bebas daripada penjajahan Inggeris, mereka khawatir Sabah pula akan dijajah oleh satu pihak yang lain, iaitu pentadbiran Kerajaan Persekutuan Tanah Melayu. Sehubungan itu, atas kekhawatiran ini, maka bangsa-bangsa bersatu, the United Nations, has in fact sent a few delegation to North Borneo or Sabah. Dan delegasi ini termasuklah Suruhanjaya Cobalt, the Cobalt Commission. They came into Sabah dan membuat satu bancian, they make a survey, and from their survey, from their findings, in fact they have come to a conclusion. Majority of the people of North Borneo or Sabah at that time, Sabah or North Borneo at that time, decided to be together with Sarawak, Malaya, and Singapore to form Malaysia. Brother Dominic, just imagine if our older generation, our leaders at that time, our communities at that time, make the wrong decision to be independent on its own. And at that time, just imagine, we don't have the capabilities, we don't have the armies, we don't have the police, we don't have the financial strength, we don't have anything at that time, because we were still infant, we were still baby, and we're still Southern Philippines lay a claim, the Sulu Sultan lay a claim on Sabah. And at any time when we are out of the protection of the British, they will come in and make Sabah as part of their territory. So just imagine, just imagine if we make the wrong decision at that time, we might be already a territory of the Philippines now. And if you become the territory of the Philippines, we will still be in conflict, an area of conflict, fighting, lawlessness. That might happen if our forefathers, the generation before us, didn't make the right decision. But thankfully, thank God, we are so grateful to our leaders, our communities at that time. They made the right decision by joining or forming Malaysia.
In fact, Yang Berhormat,
yes,
this is very inspiring what you are saying. And is this message going to be repeated through the series of events in your Malaysia Day celebrations?
I think it is very important to make our young men understand, our young population understand.
And YB, what are the kind of events that you're going to hold throughout the state that would allow this young generation to understand the kind of the journey that the forefathers have taken to form the Sabah and Sarawak as part of Malaysia?
That's right. Okay, I'm not finished just now, because I'm talking about other nation that's eyeing Sabah at that time, North Borneo, or what Sabah was called North Borneo at that time. The Republic of Indonesia, the Kalimantan, they also eyeing Sabah at that time. If they succeeded in getting Sabah into part of the North Kalimantan, a territory of Indonesia, of course, Kalimantan is merdeka, independent. But the prosperity, kemajuan, pembangunan Kalimantan compared to Sabah under Malaysia or forming Malaysia, we are 10-15 years ahead of them. This is what we should appreciate.
And what are the events, Yang Berhormat, that you are organizing within the state that will reinforce this understanding to the young?
So what we are going to do in our Malaysia Day celebration on the 16th September 2014, we are going to do it. The venue will be Dewan Serbaguna Kompleks Sukan Likas.
Right.
Part of the programs we are going to do it inside the hall, and the others are going to have it outside. So inside the hall, what we are going to do is pembacaan ikrar rukun negara. Ikrar rukun negara, kepercayaan kepada Tuhan, kesetiaan kepada raja dan negara, keluhuran perlembagaan, kedaulatan undang-undang, kesopanan dan kesusilaan. These are the very foundation that bind us all together. Bind Malaysia, Sabah, Sarawak, Semenanjung Malaysia, people of different ethnic backgrounds, religious belief, cultural tradition, but we are all bind by this rukun negara. And this is the very essence that make us stable, make us peacefulness, make us be able to stand, tall with the rest, equal to other people, other nations who achieve their independence. So it is very important for us to make sure the younger generation also appreciate and understand and try to instill the value of Rukun Negara in their lives. Yeah, and apart from that, we're going to have patriotic songs to be sung by our young children, and we are going to have those generation who are present during the announcement of the Malaysia Day in the Merdeka Padang in Kota Kinabalu. We are going to invite them personally. Some of them might accept our invitation, and we will introduce them to the crowds, to the younger generation. These are the very people who make the right decision, yeah, for us to be able to become a Malaysia, part of Malaysia, yeah, and we should thank them. Yeah? And outside the hall, there will be some exhibition of all photos, how Sabah looked like those days before independence, and compared to now. There's going to be a lot of difference, like the earth and the sky, the difference. So these are the things that we should appreciate, because young people born today, they never see all the hardship. They never see the the infrastructure those days, which is very lacking. They just look at, hey, we are already having all this infrastructure. In fact, there was none. We started from zero those days. So these are the things that we want the young people to appreciate, and we want them to understand that we must do our utmost. Yeah, if those older generation has done their part, we also must do our part. The younger generation must do their part to make sure we are always united in making sure our state, our nation, Malaysia, will continue progressing for the future.
Young Berhmat Dato', one last question. If you are given 1 minute, what would your advice be to parents as well as the young kids, what they should do on the 16th of September 2014?
Okay, in one word.
In a
One
minute.
parent, 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, in the 16th of September 2000, in every year, 16th of September, I urge all the parents, please make sure if there is any celebration, yeah, remembrance of our Malaysia Day, please bring your kids together with you to go to the venue of celebration. Make them understand the value of peace. Make them understand the value of unity, because these are the prerequisites to make sure Malaysia, to make sure Sabah will be able to progress, will be able to go ahead in achieving our developed status nation by the year 2020 and also beyond. If we fail to instill the value of solidarity, unity among our people, there might come a day when we wake up in the morning, all that we have dreamed for, all that our forefathers have built, we find that all crumbling into pieces because the hatred being sown, because of all the incitement being done through the Facebook, social media and whatnot, and there is no understanding that we must make sure all this is taken care of. Then we're going to have a problem, because our forefathers built Malaysia now 51 years. We are celebrating Independence Day 51 years. If anything happen, if our nation crumbles, if our nation become like what is happening in the Middle East, I'm sure it's going to take more than 100 years to build up Malaysia once again. And who will be losing? All of us will be the losers. So I urge everybody, please make sure 16th September, put aside some of your days, yeah, to really contemplate on the importance of this day, the Hari Malaysia Day. It is our day. It is the future of our generation.
Yang Berhormat Datuk Tawfiq Haji Abu Bakar Titingan, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Sabah, as well as the Organising Chair for Malaysia Day 2014, on behalf of Sabahkini, we would like to thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.